Hello, I'm Rochelle Alicia Strider, and this course is called The Power of Non-Resistance, a way to act with love in the world in which you live. Now, acting with love came out of my experience as an actor on the stage. I discovered that when I was on stage performing as an actress, there was literally no pain. What I mean by that is, like, the character wasn't having a problem other than the problem that the script gave the character. So when I was on stage, Rochelle Alicia Strider was not having a problem. Only the character in the script was having a problem. And that was an illusion. And one day I realized that it was the same illusion when Rochelle Alicia Strider was having a problem, that there wasn't very much difference between the two. And I realized I wanted to live my life off stage the way I lived it on stage, centered, focused, filled with the creative spirit, filled with the imagination and joy and peace that comes out of being in that at one moment with a character. And so I looked at what was I doing on stage? What was the prime attribute that could propel me into living my life off stage as well as I lived it on stage? And what I discovered was it was a state of non-resistance. As an actor, especially doing improvisation, whatever came at me, I had to work with. I couldn't be sitting there and judging it and going, no, I don't like that. Let's do it this way. There wasn't time for that. And that's the way life comes at you. It comes at you sometimes, and what we do is we go, oh no, I don't like that. I want to change it. I want to do this with it. And so we don't have a chance to be truly creative because we're always judging it. Now, when you're on stage, you cannot be judging your character. If you judge your character, you cannot play it well. You need to be in the at-one-ment with that character. And I thought to myself, well, am I in that at-one-ment with myself? And I realized, no, I judged myself all the time. I wasn't good enough, or I was too good, or whatever. But if I were a character in this play called life, I wouldn't be judging it. I would enter into total union with that character and allow that character to have as much freedom as possible to discover anew every moment of life. It all started when a very good friend of mine, an actress, very beautiful, on stage she looked like a butterfly. She was diaphanous. She was just glorious. Decided she wasn't any of those things. She wasn't worthy of being alive and took her own life. And the question was, didn't she realize how beautiful she was? And of course it had to come back to me. Didn't I realize how beautiful I was? And the answer was no, I'm not okay. And that's when I realized I had to work at this. I had to work at knowing, discovering, and acting on my beauty, that I couldn't resist myself, that I had to be open to whatever I was in the moment that I was there. And from that end, I began to look at how I did that. How did I enter into a state of non-resistance? Well, we have the answer in lots of tomes out there. The Power of Now, Be Here Now, being in this moment. There is no other moment that you can be in. And my husband and I, we came up with 4 words that we call PREP. Being present, receptive, enthusiastic, and personal. So each of those P's we looked at as the basis upon which we act in life, function in life. If I am present, I'm engaged. It means that there's no place else to be. I'm totally engaged with whoever I am with. I'm engaged with whatever I'm doing. I'm engaged. I'm right there. And in that engagement, there's no time. There's no worries. You know, when you're with a good friend and you're having a wonderful time and you say, whoa, my God, what happened to the time? And you laughingly say, well, time disappears when you're having fun. Time disappears when you're engaged. And of course, you're having fun when you're engaged because there is no judgment. You're in this wonderful mix of receiving and giving and receiving and giving, and just everything is moving beautifully. You're tight in that focus of engagement, and therefore it's delightful. Now, being receptive means you cannot be in judgment, because how can you receive something and be judging it at the same time? Because judgment pushes things away, keeps them away from us. It's either too bad, don't come too close, or it's too good and I can't have that. So I'm pushing away in judgment. When I am open to receiving, then I can allow in whatever I need to bring me to the next moment in time. I don't have to be thinking about the next moment in time, but be totally receptive about what is happening at this moment in time. And therefore, it means not having judgment. Then being enthusiastic is even more wonderful, because here is all that I am, being given an opportunity to come out rather than sit behind the shadow of all my judgments, and I can't possibly be out there telling you how wonderful I am or allowing myself to be wonderful if I have all these judgments about myself. So when that's gone, I can step forward and just be fully who I am in that moment, not attenuating, not trying to take care of anybody, but just being there exactly, fully, with all that energy, entheos, the breath of life itself. It is divine light, divine air within me coming forth. That's what we want, don't we? So, enthusiasm. And then the last, being personal. Being personal is being congruent. It's saying who I am, being full with who I am, that there isn't this disconnect. You hear so often, you see people have their wonderful ideas, but they're not connected to their bodies. They leave their bodies out in that wonderful expression of who they are. When you're personal, your mind and your body are connected, and your spirit flows through all of it. So there's this wonderful connection between all of you, being put out, being received, and being engaged. The other thing about acting with love that I think is really important, and probably the most important thing about this course, is what I call the triunion. That love exists as the seat of a three-legged stool. Each leg of that stool is the connection. Connection to self without judgment, connection to other without judgment, and connection to the divine, the mystery, the all, whichever you want to call it, Allah, God, however you perceive that. When those three legs are fully engaged, the seat of that engagement is love. So we can't be in love if I'm just feeling wonderful about myself, having no judgment about myself, but judging you like mad, or having whole bunches of images of what the divine is. You know, this is the only way you can be spiritual, this is the only way you can be spiritual, but rather allowing these triunion to determine how you function, how you act, because you're acting out of love. So in a nutshell, that's what this course brings us to. It helps us get present, it helps us be receptive, it helps us get enthusiastic, it helps us be personal, it helps us find out, discover, and become the love that we want to be. I hope you are willing and able to take this ride with me, because I think it will be extraordinarily expanding in terms of your consciousness and your joy of life. Thank you.